Then when I hear a newscast and it says, when we're alone, it's just colon and dick.
Yep.
Something to think about, that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, that's from Colin Powell.
Is he the one that said it?
Yeah. He even said before he said, this may sound a little improper, but.
He said that?
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking that way.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, that's a shame. So sophomoric.
And what is it, his son, his brother is the head of the FCC?
Yeah. What up with that, big... Anyway, all right, here is something. We've been talking about therapy. Does it work in couples therapy, or does it work for couples? Blah, blah, blah. Here is something that's really disturbing to me. I think that you are with your wife for a lot of reasons. I think you depend on her. You rely on her. She's a great wife. She's a great mom. She's, this, that, the other thing.
I'm in love with her.
Right. I mean, like all that. But did you know that a lot of men don't see the value in being emotionally intimate with their wives? We were talking about how you shut yourself into a room or whatever. How a lot of men, it says, just don't see a value at all in being emotionally intimate with their wives because they neglect their wives in order to build their fortunes. It says men are programmed to seek self-worth through performance. So it's a lot of you guys ignore your wives or whatever because you're working on your career, because you believe that other people see you, like what your worth is, based on where you are in the career totem pole.
Right. And I agree with that. I base a lot of my self-worth on my career.
So you also forget that you also need the emotional intimacy with I don't know, a best friend, a woman, whatever. You guys shut yourself down into this little person, this little working machine. I got to go to work. I got to succeed. I got to have toys. I got to make people think that I'm rich. I got to make people think I'm successful. But in the meantime, you guys don't understand the benefits of being emotionally involved with somebody, how they can be more than your rock. They can be your confidant, all that stuff. And that's what women, I think that's where in some, realms we're stronger.
Right.
It's because we pull from our friends emotionally. We pull from you guys emotionally, really emotionally. Mm-hmm. And we see the benefits, whereas men are like, I will ignore you because I have to be at work now, and I have to do this, and I have to get it all done, and people will think I'm worth something.
Right. I agree with you. There is, on a personal level, I don't think I have anything without Gretchen because I think I'll degenerate rather quickly. But I will say this. I am not sure a one-income family can be fair.
Yeah, because...
Can be completely fair. To be honest with you, I believe when there is one sole breadwinner, especially unless you're really rich and then half of it still makes you okay. But I think if there's one sole breadwinner, at the end of the day, that person's going to win.
Well, they have all the control because money is power,
mm-hmm.
So they do have the control, and that sucks a big fat.
Yeah, I just don't know that it's fair. I mean, you try and be fair up to a certain point, but anger will, overcome.
Well, and you use it, everybody who knows that the one income person. I mean, my sister was in one forever. I mean,
right.
For 13 years. And I know my brother-in-law certainly used it against her, and it was a power trip, and then he'd allocate certain funds for her clothing, and it's like...
Well, that's weird. I don't do any of that just because I don't want to write checks. She has all the money.
Well, but he was a CPA, and never marry a CPA. I love him. He's a great husband. They manage their money.
Yeah, it's a good thing financially if you're going to be in a one-income family. Marry a completely incompetent guy with a really good job.
I don't know. I don't know because it's still about, I was thinking about when this article about our friend Jason.
Yeah.
And how I believe that Jason will never be in an emotional relationship because he's too competitive. Right. Not with females, but in life. Like he's just got to fight, got to win, got to fight, got to win.
I know that guy.
And he'll never emotionally commit to a woman because then she'll see that he's vulnerable, and then she'll see that, he'll never lean on anybody that way.
Right. I agree.
That's why I'm never going to marry him, so not to worry. So, that, if you were, thinking, I was, yeah.
Rocket Boy off the list.
Oh,
I was going to say, out of all of them, I like Rocket Boy best.
You do?
Yeah.
Even over Builder Bob?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That shocks me.
Well, Builder Bob didn't ride a Suzuki, the greatest motorcycle ever built. It just says something about a guy. It just says something about a guy. If he's not bright enough to ride a Suzuki, he's not marrying material.
Anyway, by the way,
Suzuki, as long as you're actually seeing Jason, Suzuki should buy some time on this show.
Why buy it when they get it for free?
We're all trying to make good with Jason, but at this point, you guys are in the red and need to come up with some cash.
It's that whole cow theory or whatever. Also, it says if you want to be happier, pay your bills right away. Paying your bills as they arrive instead of in one marathon session at the end of the month. Boost bliss. Boost bliss.
Right. That's what it says.
A survey of 1,500 Americans found that instant bill payers have less credit card debt and more savings, plus feel more fulfilled, even though they don't make any more money than the once a month bill payers. So something to think about. I'm like a one stack machine. Like I put them all in that stack and then I just right away.
I pay my bills the exact same way every month with Gretchen's right hand. Here you go, sign away.
See? I don't know. Anyway. All right. You know how you were talking about how you had bologna in your shoes?
Mm-hmm.
And we pointed and laughed.
Sometimes if I just don't feel funny, I visualize bologna in my shoes.
Right. Well, here's a friend of yours. He's not, but he's like your people. David, hi.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hi, we're good. How are you?
All right. Listen, when Danny was talking earlier about voiceover work,
Yeah.
I do voiceover work too. Danny, you know me. I'm the one that made amends to you a couple months ago.
I do remember you. Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Nice to talk to you guys.
Is he like an alcoholic or something?
I'm coming up on a year, thanks to a lot of people, including yourself.
That's overly kind of you. Thank you.
May 5th.
He said it thanks to helpful people like me. That's why I said overly kind.
Anyway, about 3 years ago, I was working on this show, Family Guy.
I love the Family Guy.
Oh, jeez, Lost, look at me. I'm on Star 98.7.
No way! I love you.
Anyway, I couldn't get into it, so I visualized having feathers in my shoes. I never tried bologna.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend David, sober, employed, feathers in his shoes.
Now, what kind of feathers? Were they duck? Were they goose? Were they pigeon?
Pillow feathers. I was in a bad mood. I was drinking at the time, and
that explains the bologna.
Dude, I did that whole A&E series about the mafia, drunk out of my mind.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's some talent there, Dan.
Yeah. And that's when the Corleone family. Hey, and then they told me, Danny, the Corleone family isn't real. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Bonanno family.
Wow. David, what'd you do drunk? That's the next segment on the show.
What's that?
What have you done drunk?
The craziest thing I ever did was got in a fight that I don't remember, and I ended up in Arizona on a boxcar, beaten down. I don't remember the fight.
Winner.
Awesome. As a matter of fact, will you do me a favor?
Boxcar.
Will you hold on the line when we're done with you being a bizarre person and get my home phone number? We'll go to some meetings.
You know what? It would be an honor if you gave me my first year cake at the. Remember the place I met you at?
Yeah, boy. You know what?
You get cake? Wait, hold on.
This is like a fairly big deal.
I know, but for the rest of us,
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to explain.
I want cake.
You get birthdays. He will be.
Okay, but can you bring us some cake?
No.
Why?
It's because, first of all, I don't eat the cake because at a lot of meetings they give the same cake for everybody.
It's rum cake?
Yeah. They give the same. Let's say they say we have 12 birthdays here tonight, right? So they take the cake and they light it, and the first guy comes up who has, say, a year, and he gives a 1-minute speech and blows out the candle.
But
by the end of it, 15 people have blown out candles. It's covered in slobber.
Yeah.
Nobody eats it.
Wow.
Danny,
David, you eat cake?
Cake's the only food known to man that people blow all over, and everybody rushes to get a piece.
Okay, cool. Anyway, hold on the number. I want Monica to give you my number.
Honor strong. You don't
know.
No,
you know what? A guy to ask me to give him his 1-year cake and say that people like me admitting about having a problem has been beneficial to him, that is an honor. It's an honor, and I will happily give you your cake. I'm all into it.
Huh. It's too bad we know the real story. Otherwise, I'd be right there with you, Dan.
1-877-487-9999.
You're missing something. Never said I've been sober a year.
Okay.
I don't have to be sober all day to give this guy his cake. It's an honor that I helped him somehow.
How's our Swan?
What time was our Swan supposed to be here?
8.
Our Swan's late.
I know. Where the hell's our Swan? Last night, that Tanya chick, she won she didn't win, but she got a new face.
Yeah, she did.
And she's going to be on the show. Where's our Swan?
Probably super glued to something.
She didn't get a new face.
I know, Jack. I was going to correct myself if you allow me the time.
Good, she's turning on you.
Anyway, you're right, Jack. As Jack was saying, that Tanya actually decided not to get her face all done up. She wanted to look in the mirror and see Tanya. And I think that the end result, she looks fantastic. We were talking about and how it kicked it off is that even the psychiatrist said to her, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to go ahead and get this stuff done to your face? And then that's when we're talking about how maybe therapists are actually... what am I? Some big word that would sound really great here. Are actually instead of beneficial.
Right.
What?
Detrimental.
Thank you, Jack.
Hindrance.
Or I was even thinking like even worse than that. Where? No, that wouldn't work. Where it's because I hate using demise all the time because I use it so much because I love it.
It's going to be your demise.
But it could actually be something that ends up being your demise because they put you in a direction
right
that isn't ultimately right. And you're trying to say, hey, but wait, I don't want my face changed. And then she makes you feel guilty about your decision.
And hideous.
Yeah. I mean, it can just take you down the wrong path in my opinion. I thought the big fat guy came in. Wow, that was weird. I had a hallucination of a fat man. What's that?
Me not being as crazy as the girl who sees a giant man.
You didn't see something fly by? Okay. Fine. In the window? All right, fine. Anyway, so that's what we were kind of talking about is couples therapy does it ever help anybody? And therapists, for that matter, do they help people? Obviously they do.
I think they do.
But it goes along the same thing that in the news today, they were talking about kids with ADD and how we over-medicate children and all this stuff.
Right.
Well, some nut job, I gotta love her, from USC, some, I don't know, researcher, blah, blah, blah. She wants kids to smoke pot.
Actually, if I may correct you, she wants them to drink pot.
She thinks that kids that are high-strung, ADD, all that stuff, that pot will be extremely beneficial to them.
I'm with her.
You want your little Isabella all jacked up on pot. Dude, pass me the Doritos.
I can't even as a joke say yes.
I know, it seems weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I want Dante on pot.
I don't know. Those kids that are so high-strung, wow, that's a whole thing. But you know what? I know this is going to be a shocker. I was one of those kids.
No.
Yes, indeed I do.
You're kidding me.
Nope. But I'm glad they didn't medicate me. They even do that shock treatment and stuff. They do all kinds of weird stuff.
I know somebody who had that.
Oh, really? What was his name?
Her name was Jen.
You're kidding. Where is she now?
Dead.
Nice one, Danny.
Killed in Rosarita Beach.
With shock treatment?
Thrown out a window.
Bragger.
Gretchen's best friend, both her mother and her best friend died from falling out windows. Isn't that bizarre?
Oh, you should use that against her. Make her feel nuts.
God! You know how most people have a devil and an angel that pop up on their shoulders? Two devils.
I'm just telling you, if you want something, that would be a good one. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm going to jump.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
If you don't forgive me, I'll jump.
Gretchen knows I'd never jump. I'm way too narcissistic to hurt myself in a way that didn't just get me attention.
Found our Swan.
Right on.
Let me just give you a little bit of snippet from
so to speak.
Last night's Swan. Tanya actually is the first ever to not get all the procedures that were offered to her, and it seems like the doctor's a little pissed off. Jack number 4, if you don't mind.
Minutes before surgery, she surprises Dr. Dubrow with the news that she's backing out of another key procedure.
So, in terms of this bump, you've decided to leave it alone.
Yeah, both my girls have the same bump, and so I want to just kind of leave that alone.
I'm a bit disappointed. In the consult, we agreed that taking the bump off her nose would make her look a lot better.
I hate him.
Yeah, he's just mean.
And then Jack number 7, and this is what we're talking about today, when therapists actually do you more harm than good.
Tanya came into this program wanting to look 10 years younger. I just want to give her the opportunity to reconsider her decision.
You opted out of a lot of surgery, particularly facial surgery. I just all of a sudden, it's like, if I don't see part of Tanya in me, I'm going to freak.
Do you think you're going to regret your decision when you get home? Because we can bring Dr. Dubrow back in to do more surgery.
I feel great with the decision I made.
That's outrageous. I think that's
a
teetering
horrible...
near unethical.
Oh, absolutely. What a horrible therapist. Anyway, here is our superstar and our swan, and that is Tanya. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
Hi, we're so proud of you.
You're proud of me? Thank you.
Yes, I think that takes a lot of, what are those things that
gumption,
you guys...
cojones.
To say, you know what, I want to be able to see who I am in the mirror.
Yeah, I thought if I actually looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't see me, they would have to pay for therapy for the rest of my life.
Well, yeah, because I wonder what that's like to,
You've called the right show, by the way.
To look in a mirror and all of a sudden, you have you don't recognize yourself.
Right. Yeah.
But it does beg the question, though. You had to know the parameters of the show when you signed on, so why did you sign on?
Well, the parameters of the show were you went in and you actually told them what you wanted to have done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, I wanted Tanya, but 10 years younger and prettier and softer, not somebody else.
Right.
I didn't want to look like, I live in Denver. I don't live in Beverly Hills. I wanted to look like me.
Well, and by the way, fair.
Yeah, fair. I'm just wondering, but according to that clip, you had agreed to or even chosen.
It doesn't matter. It's surgery. She can change her mind.
I know, but it's about a show. I'm not asking about her personal life on this one.
See, that's the problem. The ethics of a show. It's about
right.
a show.
When you go to do the show, didn't you choose a certain procedure and then, according to that person, back out of it?
Yeah, probably I did.
But
it was
good for you.
I looked at my contracts I signed with the surgeons, and they were like, I signed a lot of stuff for facial contouring and that type of thing, and I thought, what in the heck is this? I'm like, no,
And I think just because you sign up for surgery, they can't force you to do it. It's unethical.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unethical on the surgeon's part, too, by the way.
Yeah, and it's not like a bad haircut that's going to grow out. Yeah. It's you.
And this Dr. Dubrow or whatever.
Right.
What was his name?
Dr. Dubrow.
Yeah. It concerns me a bit that I don't know, because a lot of plastic surgeons also talk about mental health.
Right. Absolutely.
And that they really need to make sure a person's mental health is in tune and blah blah. It concerns me a little bit that he's angry you're not getting this stuff done.
Yeah, I was a little concerned too.
It concerns me about his ethics, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, and it's me. I wanted me, and that was my decision, and I went into the show with my eyes wide open and, deciding what I wanted to do. And then, they talked to me about other things that would make me prettier. And
right.
Make me feel
What
good.
didn't we see on the show? Like, were they really livid about, hey, get this stuff done. You're making me look bad. Because you look beautiful, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. And
really
I feel awesome. That's, that's the whole thing is that I feel good.
So
you obviously felt awesome because you said that I'm done with this. This is the way I want to be. So you really came off as the most secure.
Yeah, that's true. So what didn't we see? Like, how were they kind of like, hey?
No, actually, after I made up my mind, they were like, okay. They were very supportive at that point. I think that they were disappointed because they wanted to go in and totally, do a remake, extreme make of my face. And it was, no, I felt more comfortable, with my decision.
Yeah, good.
And I have no regrets. That's the thing.
And by the way, don't.
I was going to ask if you felt you disappointed the show in any way.
Who cares?
But now that I think about it, you're one of the highlights. You kind of improved their show.
And that show, by the way, that show is it's going to run for a couple of years or whatever. She lives with her face the rest of her life and her decisions the rest of her life. And I think kudos to you because I'm sure, there was some kind of little pressure here and there. My guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a little pressure. And, I think it's probably also my maturity level, being the oldest Swan.
Are you the oldest Swan? Do you mind if I ask your age?
I'm 40.
God, you're younger than I.
I know. How sad is that? So, Tanya, now, first of all, would you do it again, everything that you had done?
Yes, I'd definitely do it again.
And what did you have done exactly?
I had the brow lift. I had my eyes done, the tip of my nose done because I said I had a butt nose, which doesn't sound very attractive.
Like Carl Malden?
Well, I guess.
Wow.
And then I had my teeth and that injected into my lips. liposuction from my mid-back down to my knees, and a tummy tuck.
Well, so it looks like you had some stuff done there, Tanya.
You're one of those people that the phrase, well, you had a little work, really goes to.
Yeah, so,
I did.
you know, keep your face
So
good.
she got a bump in her nose.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like, too, that you also said that you want to keep the little bump in your nose because your kids have it.
Yeah, my girls.
I think that says a lot. You know, why should your kids, you know, if you're ashamed of it, then your kids will be ashamed of it.
Well, that's, you know, and that's what I'm thinking is that, you know, it's part of us.
Right.
You know, so why change it?
See, you know why I was startled at first? Because, you know, being on TV and having talk shows and all that crap has been
You'll
very
sell
important
your
to me.
soul for television?
Exactly. I would have had breasts put on my back.
I know you would. I know. I mean, some people will
least I'm
sell
being
their
honest.
soul. Yeah, will sell their soul for television. And Tanya, you even would get, you know, free plastic surgery and
Right.
the whole thing.
Right.
So good for you. There was something else I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, you have some issues.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what's happened? Like,
Well-
tell everybody your drama in case they didn't see last night's show.
It started.
And don't cry.
Okay, I'll try
No,
not to.
feel free.
Well, I've had therapy, so I can work through it.
Okay, all right, good. I
You
hope it
and me
wasn't the
both.
therapist telling you to change your face. Anyway, go ahead.
After 9/11, my husband, who's now my ex-husband, was a Navy reservist, and he got called back, and he got called to Seattle. So I maintained the home front in Denver, and while he was out in Seattle, he got a girlfriend.
Oh boy.
And she was 24.
Oh, boy.
Really didn't help my
Hey, let me tell you something. It's worse when they get somebody older than you.
Oh, you think?
Oh, I know.
No, that was kind of bad. that kind of sucked.
No, because that you can't compete with, and you're like, okay, she's younger. I don't have that. But when they're older, you're like, hey. So anyway, go ahead.
Hey, what about me?
Yeah.
And my brother passed away in a tragic accident.
What happened?
He was out farming, and he was on a tractor, and he was pulling out fence posts, and the chain on the tractor didn't give, and it pulled the tractor over on top of him, and the gas part broke and burst into flames, and he actually burnt to death. And
well, you didn't have to tell us that part.
I am terribly sorry.
Oh my God, Tanya.
And he has 5 kids. So, and
no.
he didn't get, and his youngest son was born 4 months after he passed away. And
wow.
nobody knew his wife was pregnant. They were going to surprise us and tell us.
How's the wife?
She's dealing a lot better. I mean, the baby has kind of helped push her through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she.
Oh my! I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Don't,
He was only 32, and actually, yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of
Tanya,
his date.
come on.
I
Could
know.
it get any
I'm telling
worse?
you, all kinds of sad
My
stuff.
God. No, that's absolutely awful. So how are the kids? I mean, you know, Pops.
The kids are great. They're
Yeah.
just real resilient. You know, it's you know, they love their dad and they were really close to him. So, you know, it's been tough, but I think the kids is what helped pull my parents through and myself.
Did
and
you
my
feel,
sisters.
and don't take this wrong, but did you feel a little guilt? Like, here's all this drama, here's all this tragedy. Hey, everyone, going to Beverly Hills, gonna get my face made over. See you later.
A little bit. I talked to my sister-in-law and my family about it, and they're like, no, because actually, you know, the events that led up to all that is why you're doing it. Because I'm a little bit different, as I didn't feel like an ugly duckling all my life. I was just past 2 or 3 years when
well,
all
no,
this
you're
stuff
not
started
ugly. That's
happening.
the thing. You just
Yeah.
needed some refurbishing.
I needed some refreshing.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I mean, you know, you're just like worn out, all the stress in your life.
Great house, needed a paint job.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow. What we should do is like send your sister-in-law to a spa or something.
I know.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, she should get
That's an unbelievable
Yeah.
story.
Wow, that's a tough day.
And then about 6 months later, I got laid off from my job.
Oh,
So, you know, it was just a chain
so
of
is
events.
anything okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
You might want to
Everything's
play the
okay.
lotto about now.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, how's your life now?
It's awesome.
Do you have
I
a
feel-
job?
Not yet.
No.
No.
And what are you qualified to do?
I've been in the financial industry for 20 years.
What does that mean?
I worked for broker dealers, like, you know, various ones, that.
So if you're over at Janice Fund and you need a nice broker-dealer chick, she's your girl.
It would be me.
Who can go? Can you imagine if you had some sort of corporate shakeup? You know who's going to be calm all the way through it because it's nothing to her?
Right.
Tanya.
No kidding.
No
Probably
kidding.
The strongest chick you'll meet.
Yeah, you want to meet a girl that says, I got this covered no matter how crazy it gets? You need Tanya at your place of business.
So if anybody from Janice Fund is listening, we need to give Tanya a job.
Yeah,
by the way,
some
and we're
plugs for Janice.
they love us in Colorado.
Well,
we
there's like
do.
5 or 6.
Right,
that
but they
do.
all have jobs.
All right, well, Tanya, congratulations. You look amazing. You look beautiful.
Thank
Keep in
you.
touch and let us know how it goes.
Okay.
And good luck to your sister-in-law as well. Tell her that we're thinking about her.
Okay, thank
All
you
right,
very much.
see you later.
Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations. You look beautiful.
You do.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Anybody see that coming?
Very normal for such tragedy.
Oh my God! I'd never.
And look, and you're nuts, and you've had nothing bad happen.
Right.
Huh. Hey, this is funny that you had this stench because I watched this the other night. I don't know if it's the same show I watched about pageant parents.
It's on
Right?
tonight.
Yeah.
Is that the same
I've
show?
seen it. Yeah.
This is called Show Biz Moms and Dads. It's on Bravo tonight. It's trippy.
Bravo's doing some great television.
Yeah.
That's Queer Eye is Bravo. They do some great stuff.
I saw this the other night. It is. I don't know if you saw it, but the one where the little girl's like, I don't want it. She's like 5. I don't want to do this anymore, Mom. And the mom is like, Taylor, don't disappoint Mommy.
That's outrageous.
And then the one little girl has to go potty, and she won't let her go potty because she has to be up on stage, and she's crying.
No, I will only pimp my kids out if they want to be pimped.
Oh, my God. I mean, and then it was crazy, these stage moms and what
Yeah.
they go through. But you know what's really bad is the fact that Britney Spears' mom did the same thing, followed her to New York or took her to New York. And blah, blah. So they think, I think Christina Aguilera's too. So they think, well, if it worked with Britney.
But it works.
No, I don't think. Okay, the clip that we have is this flaming little gay boy who is singing a song, and his mom is standing there next to him, like snapping her fingers and
The
this
trailer
smile.
park mom.
And she's
Wait,
like,
is she live in a trailer park?
I don't know.
No, I think the
See
trailer
that.
park mom, doesn't she have the 2 girls?
No, she has a son, and his voice is changing, and she's like,
Yeah.
she's really upset.
I didn't see the whole thing. If this is it, play the clip and see if
Okay.
this is
My mind on fire, my soul on fire.
He's got appeal. It's not just his voice, it's his stage presence.
Party people all around me.
I think he could be a future teen idol.
Feeling hot.
Yep, that's the kid. His mom lives
Oh
in a
my
trailer.
God.
His father's a trucker.
Oh.
The poor child is in trouble.
Yeah.
His mom teaches him how to Congo, and she's holding his arms and hands, and they're Congoing together, and he's like boob high. And then she brings over one of the neighbor girls to Congo with him.
Yeah, it's all bad news.
And she's snapping and thinks this kid's going to be a huge star.
Right.
And whether his voice is changing or not, he's flat on almost all of it.
And she used to be a baton twirler
Oh, here's a sign.
about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, all
Yeah,
40 years
there's a
ago.
sign.
And a hard 40 years ago.
A road hard put away wet 40 years ago?
Yes. I saw the wheels on the double wide. And so now she thinks she can still dance like when she was 12 and things were different.
Gravity had not taken its horrible effects upon her.
Jack, can you just one more time and tell me if that kid's not from Full House or whatever? No.
Oh, yeah!
My mind on fire, my soul on fire.
He's got appeal. It's not just his voice, it's his stage presence.
Party people all around me.
I think he could be a future teen idol.
Feeling hot.
We have to have that mom on the show.
That
I have
kid
got to talk
is,
to her.
That kid is, who's the boss? That's the kid you're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
We have got to find that mom, and we've
Where you
got
knew
to
he
talk
was-
to her because I have to talk to her and tell her she's going to get the bejesus kicked out of her son's ass.
Yeah, remember the kid from Who's the Boss? You knew he was gay at like 6?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Tonight's a new episode. I will have clips tomorrow.
Right on.
Okay, can we try to find the mom?
Is it the same people every week? Because I just have heard about it.
I don't know, but
All right.
she's
And-
the trailer park mom.
Just, I would help you. You know how you call publicists and stuff like that? Bravo is right upstairs. Just go upstairs and be gigantic.
Yeah.
Just
Intimidate.
walk into Jeff Gaspin's office and say, hey, I will beat you down if I don't have that mom.
What happens to these people? I mean, do you guys think that because you guys have kids, that you're going to be stage parents?
No. Stage presence is a derogatory term in my world.
Well, okay, but I mean, do you see yourself putting the little Little Miss Hoo-Ha and Little Miss
No,
Ha-Ha?
no. But Isabella's done commercials.
Yeah, so she's done those cattle lines. I mean, have you gotten mad? Like, you have to know these
I
lines?
don't go.
You don't go? Well, that's
No.
probably a good idea.
And I actually, to be honest with you, I only twice have let her go on interviews with dialogue.
Too much pressure.
Yeah. But, and I hesitate to say this, but we got her tax things. She made $40,000 last year with like 2 McDonald's commercials of 2 days of work.
I know, but it's not about the money.
It's all about the
No,
money.
it's not.
It's
You
all
don't live
about
your
the
life like
Benjamins.
that. No, you don't. I mean, you do, but you shouldn't.
My mind on fire, my soul on fire.
He's got appeal. It's not just his voice. It's his stage presence.
Party people all around me.
I think he could be a future teen idol.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
I'm on fire. Hey, that's not all about that kid that's possibly on fire.
All right, so here's a question.
Yeah.
You're a parent. Is it her desire for the celebrity, or is it she has such blind love for this child she can't see that he doesn't have any talent?
I think it's such blind love for this child that she can't see that he doesn't have any talent.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, some parents, like my dad would goof on us and stuff, but you always felt good about yourself. And then you look at the picture and you're like, okay, yeah. But, he never, ever gave us, and my mom and my dad never gave us these false hopes that we were going to, be a teen idol.
Right.
They would never dare tell us that, you know?
My mom never gave me any false hopes that I was going to be a teen idol, and whoops, then I was.
Well, right.
Stuff just happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you look past your kids' flaws because you love them so much, and they're your darling angels. And sometimes you guys see those kids where they say, "This is my darling angel, isn't he precious?" And you're like, "Can't you see, like he's not?"
But you know what? And to make this all about me, the reason I don't let Isabella do commercials or stuff with dialogue, go out on those interviews, she's not an actress. She wants to be in these commercials, loves it, wants to go out on these auditions and play with the kids, but she's not an actress, and I'm not prepared to set her up for disappointment. So I don't see past her lack of ability in certain areas.
And then these parents get obsessed. I can remember there were a couple of kids, and you guys probably remember you were a couple of kids in your school where the parents became crazy, whether it be at sporting events where everybody's like, "Oh no, Shane Gooden's parents are here. He's gonna go crazy." And that one dad that would get all nuts and get
fight
kicked out.
with the umpire and stuff. Yeah.
And he was crazy. And then my one girlfriend, I told you guys, she was hypnotized at 12 years old to throw a back on the beam because she was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
She's 12 years old. They want her to jump in the air, do a flip, and land on 4 inches of wood. And her mom is pissed off that she won't do it and has her hypnotized.
That's crazy.
It is
That's crazy.
I mean, what do you get out of that? She's not going to be an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, if she's afraid to do the first major thing, she's probably not going to win gold.
She's not. I mean, and ultimately, you have to, she's not going to be an Olympic. And even if she is an Olympic gold medalist, what ultimately have these people really gotten after this? I mean, our friend, what's his name? That's the diver?
Mark Spitz?
Greg Louganis, I mean, now he shows
diver.
dogs, so he's got that going for him.
Right, but I'll bet he made several $million in endorsements after that.
Yeah, well, I guess if the money is, I mean, to me, it's more that you did it and that,
the gold medal would be the thing, but I would hate to waste my life training and then have no vocation because all I've done is train my whole life.
Right. And you would hope that if you did train your whole life, you'd finally get it.
Because, those guys that train their whole life so they can ski and then shoot and then ski some more probably don't get big endorsement deals afterwards.
What do you mean?
There's an Olympic event where you ski, you stop, you pull this weird rifle off your back, shoot, ski some more, and do it again. It's an Olympic event.
I mean, it is amazing, those of you that have the drive and the determination to, run 10, 20 miles, whatever, and you can work past that and all that. But training your entire life from 10 years old.
Younger.
Yeah. And then doing this you get one chance to make a gold medal. And
one chance.
I don't know. Seems like a lot of pressure and a whole lot of not living.
There are. Oh, it's not living because you've seen those things on like Mary Lou Retton and all that stuff. 8 hours, 12 hours a day, their whole childhood.
Yeah, it just seems crazy.
And
then,
for everyone that wins that gold medal, there's a bazillion that don't.
We had this little girl in our school system. Her name was Mia Shailene.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you something right there, okay? Mia Shailene. Ugh. And I remember she came over to our house and she had 126 trophies. How many do you have? She has 126 trophies and she has 32 crowns. How many do you have?
Did you punch her in the face?
No, my mom said, well, Jamie's not going to have any problems. Oh.
Wow.
And Nancy got a little snippy. I'm like, wow, my mom, this sweet, nice Christian lady, is doing a smackdown on like a 9-year-old.
And also, sadly mistaken.
Well, right. Yeah. But that's because I didn't have any of the trophies or crowns. But I'm over that now. But it is also funny, like the kids that say little things in the back seat and you have to, have you ever had that happen where you have to do a little smackdown?
On your kids?
No, on the neighbor kids. This is an example. I don't know how to say it. But my sister's brother-in-law's kids were in the back seat. And they were in the back seat with my sister's kids. And they go, because my sister and I are from a very, very small town, and my sister's raising the kids in a small town. I love it. I think it's great. And so the other kids are from St. Louis, and they go, my mom said that you guys live in a hick town and that our education will be much better because we live in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Well, my sister turns around and goes, your mother is from this hick town and went to school here. And they said, no, she didn't. She went to Dallas. The lady's lying.
Lying to her kids.
She's lying about Southern Illinois. She told them that she was raised in Dallas. She only lived a few years in Southern Illinois.
She's like Vanilla Ice, making up a whole bad part of Texas life.
Oh, my God. But those kids in the backseat, they slam your kids or they say something. You just have to even though you're the better person, you're trying to be an adult. You're like, oh, yeah, well, your mom's a whore. Something like that.
Oh, that'd be a little inappropriate.
But don't you want? Have you had kids slam your parents or slam
I
your kids?
never interact negatively with my daughter's little friends. That's Gretchen's job.
No, I know, and you don't want to. You're in the front of the minivan, and you hear them belittle whatever.
Right.
And you it's all you can do to bite your tongue.
Apparently, a 5-year-old told Isabella, "I'm better at gymnastics than you. You're too tall."
Oh.
But Isabella does not need mom to do a smackdown.
Oh, right. That's
Isabella realized immediately, I am tall enough to kick your little gymnast butt.
Oh, yeah, but I bet.
So that was a physical smackdown.
Gymnastics?
Yeah. Oh, you don't mess with this fella.
Leotards are flying.
Because I'm one of the few parents that, teach the thing. Violence works sometimes, kids.
Yeah. Little footies with balls on the back of the heel flying everywhere.
Kaboom. You know what? The kid did a backflip for the first time. Yeah.